Hey guys, welcome back to Ace Finance, and in today's video we're going to go over Bitcoin as well as some other opportunities in the market that I think are coming in the next few weeks. I'm going to talk about Bitcoin and where we're headed and the altcoins I'm looking to scoop up on this dip. So let's get into it. Right now we are taking a look at Bitcoin over here, which managed to break to the downside. Not so good for price action. Probably signals we're going to head a little bit lower before we get some retrace up. Markets don't usually go down in a straight line. So what we're looking for here is a retrace back to about 104, 105, close to it, and then probably a break back down to about 94k or 93k over the next few weeks, probably into July. So that's not too good for the alts because alts are going to take a big hit as well. We had the alt chart break down. I'm going to show you that in a little bit, but for now Bitcoin just doesn't look so great. We're probably going to get some green, like I said. And then once we get this move to the downside to about 92,000, we'll have to reevaluate, see the price action and what's going on with Bitcoin. So that's pretty straightforward. I think the only way Bitcoin doesn't go bearish is if we actually cross above this prior high at about 105,000. If we can get above that and the moving averages, we can reclaim 110 and possibly shoot for the all-time high. But as for now, it just doesn't look so great. We're going to have to break this channel towards the downside first for some kind of bullish expectation and then actually begin to head up. Otherwise, what I'm looking for here, like I said, is back to the downside. Now I looked at the others chart before. If you guys take a look here, I had two scenarios drawn out. We did get the bearish one take place yesterday. So we fell down into the altcoin discount area, and now we're looking for a bounce back to about 225 billion. We already got a little bit nice bounce back. How much have we got? We've got about 5% with probably 5% more to go. And that's going to come with the Bitcoin move towards the upside over the next few days. Once we get that, I do expect we're going to break this low back to the trend line down here. And that's going to be the place where I want to scoop up some alts because, well, if we break down any lower, it's simply not going to look so much prettier on the charts. So it's do or die time for the alts around this area, give or take 5%. So that's pretty much what I'm looking for here. And then once that happens, what I want to see coming out of July is for a move back up to the upper portion of this trend line, probably a pullback, and then we try to break out again. That's currently what I'm projecting, but we'll have to see how this plays out. So far, it's playing out with the negative scenario that I was anticipating in the last video, and the price action here just screams accumulate alts. This is a great time to buy. It's just going to be a bit of pain before we actually get towards the upside and break all-time highs on a lot of coins. Another chart I want to show you guys is that DeFi is actually holding up pretty well. So this is market cap to Ethereum ratio. It's holding up really well. When we were having the drop, this was actually going to the upside, meaning DeFi is holding pretty well relative to Ethereum, which is good. That's what you want to see. And this happens to change and go bullish when Ethereum isn't moving so fast, but when Ethereum does begin to move fast, we get drops like this. So even though we are getting a little bit of a drop, and we had one this last month, it's okay because the trend is to the upside. So we should begin to see DeFi pick up in the coming months as we continue the trend to the upside against Ethereum. Now I'm going to go over some of the DeFi coins I want to get involved with over here and take a look at Curve. So I'm going to clean up this chart for you guys just a little bit. Okay, and what we've got here is we tapped about 50 cent, found support, and we are very oversold on the MACD and the RSI, as you guys can see. On the daily, not so much, but on the 4 hour, you can see we hit oversold levels, and now we are looking to turn up and get above the moving averages. I do think we will be able to get up slightly, possibly to about 58 cents. Let's draw a parallel channel right here just to get an idea of where we might be going. So something like this, something like that. And you can see possibly to that midline, about 57 cents. I don't think we're going to get to see 65 in this environment. It's really not that bullish right now. We need the sentiment to shift. We need some kind of news. We need the war to die down. Something needs to happen for us to actually get a strong pump. So I think 57 cents is our best bet before we head back down to about 40 or 42, somewhere down there. So not looking too good. But once we get down there, we'll have to reevaluate and see what is going to happen, because right now things are looking pretty dire. So nothing goes down in a straight line, and we're going to get a bounce somewhere along the way. Now I want to take a look at some memes that I'm looking to short, because even though the market's going down, doesn't mean you can't short and make some money on the downside. And what we've got here is Fartcoin. And Fartcoin managed to hit my target to the downside right there. We're looking for a bounce to about 102, 103, somewhere in this region right here. right there in that box between the Fibonacci's. I'm going to remove this so you guys get a clearer view. Somewhere up there is where I'm looking to short it in the next few days, call it 3-4 days. And once we get that, I'm going to be targeting about 50 cents down there. So right there, 50 cents, 60 cents, somewhere around this area. That's going to be a really nice short. You can look at that. It's about 50% to the downside. It should happen really, really quick because I've got a wave count here showing me we've got 1, 2, 3. 3 is the strongest one, and then we got a fifth wave coming down there. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be looking at for Fartcoin. Memes are not looking so great. DOGE is another meme I'm taking a look at over here, and I'm projecting we are going to pump to the upside right there. You guys can see where I've got the target of about 175, maybe lower depending on the date. So the longer this takes, the lower we're going to hit on the levels because the channel is descending and the resistance comes up later. So opportunities are definitely out there. For longs, they're just hard because the risk to reward isn't so great the later you get in. I managed to get in down here because I saw that we were oversold and we hit the trend line. As you guys can see, every single time we hit the trend line, we bounce, we bounce, we bounce. And you guys get the point every time, except for this one where we managed to break it, but we got a violent pushback towards the upside. And I don't think we're going to see something like this happen again. And I think we might get it happen here again if it happens quick enough. If it doesn't, I'm just going to simply break even because I am targeting that upper trend line for a nice risk to reward. I'm in from there, and there you go. That's about a nice 5x where my stop loss is down there. So you can see I've got a nice 6.42 risk to reward, targeting about 1.7. If we can get that, that'd be great. Currently making a nice move, some nice progress. The MACD is curling up, the RSI is curling up. Of course, it would after yesterday's dump, but I do have to make sure that we don't simply roll over like we did over here. You can see we got a nice bounce to the mid-trend line and then just kind of died. So that's something I don't want to see and something I'm very aware of because these dumps can happen really quick. You can see a huge dump happened here. You got a bear flag and then dumped once again. So again, the idea here is to long the bottom of the channel, sell at the top, short at the top, and then aim for the bottom, as I think we are going to revisit these lows, possibly even lower. We still have lower to go, but we'll have to wait and see if those targets are actually hit. It's a very tricky environment right now with a lot of memes taking hits. You can see Giga didn't fare too well. We got absolutely brutalized on Giga, so I lost some money there. Brett is kind of tricky. It's kind of in the halfway line. Not really interested in Brett. It's not looking appetizing in the upside or the downside, so we're gonna have to be patient with that. A lot of altcoins are just waiting to break down lower, unfortunately. Once we actually break out of this trend, you can see this trend, this channel down here. Once we actually break out of it around sometime in August or September, then we can begin to trade alts to the long side. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot of chop. This is the opportunity for buying though. As you can see, I've marked this the altcoin discount area. So this is basically a buy and wait situation. If you don't feel comfortable trading, it is a very difficult market to trade as we got a lot of volatility with the war and the news, and these moves don't have to really come to fruition in the way we expect them to. It's mainly about risk to reward. You have to manage your risk to actually make it profitable in this market. You have to stay disciplined, execute on the targets. You need to be able to plan your chart out, see what levels you want to get into, and then actually click the button once the time comes, even though it might be a bit uncertain. As long as you have your risk managed, then it's pretty much up to the stops to do the worrying, because you're not going to be able to control or do anything about this market once you're in the trade. You just need to make sure you don't lose too much on a single trade, because that's how people get wrecked. And if we take a look here as well on Bitcoin dominance, it managed to peak up on the fear. That's good to see, because the closer we get to the 67 mark, the better. Eventually, I do expect this to roll over. This is not going to go up forever. And another chart I'm finally taking a look at here is the meme market capital. So we're back to the meme discount area where we bounced on April. Of course, this doesn't have to hold. If it doesn't hold, memes are going to take even more of a beating, which they already took a huge beating. I don't think this is going to break, simply because if it does break, the next low we have here is going to be right there and about 33 billion. And if that does happen, the memes that are already down are going to simply die. A lot of them are going to die, and it's going to be kind of a cleanse. So I don't really want to see that happen. What we want to see here is a reclaim. So we've got the channel down here, right there, yeah. And that probably needs some adjusting, but this is for quick view. We want to see us break out of here in July. So a lot of things are going to happen in July. Either we're going to break out or break down. So that's an important month to pay attention to the charts. I think that we are going to see some chop, meaning sideways action, before we actually get some meaningful price action towards the upside as this war fears start to die down. So that's pretty much what I've got for you guys today. It's pretty much a short the bounces kind of situation, where if we do get these bounces up to these upper trend lines, we're going to have to short them to the downside, because these charts are not set up to go up just yet. We'll have to wait until we get into the second week of August to get, or second week of July, to get any clear idea of what's going on, because that's the time frame I think we're going to get some answers. I do think we sweep these lows. If we don't sweep the lows, then I think that's incredibly bullish. So with that said, good luck out there, and I'll see you guys next time.